Greetings! You did not click on weird but interesting facts in history with Joy Zabel, but instead you have clicked on St. Paul's podcast Beyond the Sermon. During this time, we will look beyond the words that our preachers have said that are full of life. I am your host, Michael Sinn, and today I have Pastor Josh with me. Say Kulmoski to the people. Any guesses? Kulmoski.
I'm going to embarrass myself if I give a real guess, so I'm going to refrain from guessing.
What if I said it's usually up north or far down south?
I have no idea.
Actually, probably north more, so I take that back. It's going to be more north.
I'm more confused than I was before.
Okay, never mind. All right, so Kulmoski is Inuit or Eskimo.
Eskimo. Okay.
And I thought it'd be very fitting, especially with having this cooler weather that we are currently experiencing.
That's putting it nicely.
Yes. Well, and I guess even Friday is supposed to be colder than the last 2 days as well. So I'm wondering if we're going to have school or not. So I don't know. I'll be curious.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think, having this cool weather and that, and I know we had, I think we should do, we talked about that we should wait till the heat of the day before we do our cardio outside.
Yes.
Do a lap around the school.
Of course.
Before our axe throwing in the cafeteria tonight.
Yep. Yeah. Gotta limber up.
Yeah, because I know they got some of the roads plowed from the weekend, so, we got, not ice when we go for our run outside tonight.
That is better.
Yeah. Are you enjoying this cold though?
No.
No?
Cold and me do not work great together. At least this cold. Or I'll say when it switches from hot to cold to hot, when it bounces back and forth, that's when it's the worst.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
I feel it more than when it does that.
Well, have you done any snow angels or the build the snowman with the kids with the snow that we have now?
A little bit. Well, I shouldn't say I have. I've been around when the kids have done both those things.
Okay.
The kids love having snowball fights with me, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's always good.
So, yeah. Or last week, Abby had a baseball bat. Jonah had, I don't know, the stick part of an old Swiffer, and I would make snowballs, and we basically played baseball, so they enjoyed that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, Abby was pretty good actually, so
future softball player then.
She's wanting to play. I forget if it's softball or t-ball, but the plan is for this year. So
okay.
Yeah, it was good practice.
All right. Well, should we warm up a little bit and talk about your sermon?
Let's do it.
All right. So, well, I think, you talk about God's timing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, seconds, minutes, hours, this could be applied to your opening illustration that you kind of talked about on Sunday. And so can you tell Mr. Kallamauer and the other listeners about your opening illustration, kind of what was your thought process with that?
Yeah. So I wanted to convey, because the focus was on the timing, right? Jairus, his timing was very urgent, and he was needing the healing immediately. And I felt like, the woman who, I kind of wish she had a name, because it felt weird just referring to her as this woman or the woman. It was a little bit weird.
Would it be inappropriate if you just gave her a name right now?
Joanna.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, I'll probably only use it one more time
in
this podcast, but excuse me. Their timing did not go how they wanted it, right? But God's timing was better, and so I'll admit I didn't love my illustration. I wasn't married to it, but I think it worked. And when thinking about timing, this could be applied to anything. God's timing with anything, but keeping it with what the focus was for this text and for my message was on God's timing of bringing healing. And so hopefully it wasn't just making people hungry, but helped help set the table for them to hear the rest of the message.
All right. Excellent. All right. So question number 2 that I have for you is, being a young pastor with no gray hair, have you ever preached on this text before?
Well, I do have a few grays.
No, so you're not supposed to say that because I'm technically older than you are. Then that means I would have to have gray hair, and I don't think I do yet. So if you're saying that you do, that means I do. And I just haven't found it yet.
No, you can stay free of that. Yeah, so this one I've actually preached on twice. Probably the first text that I can say that about. I was looking through my old sermons and I preached on it just about 2 years ago, actually, like to the month. And then during Advent, I had to fill in. I didn't have to. Pastor Ulm asked me to fill in for one of the nights in the round robin, and I did, and it was on this. And so the one from 2 years ago was kind of Jesus not being made dirty by our uncleanness. So kind of like more of a spiritual sense, which I cringed a little bit when I read that. I was 2 years younger, 2 years less experienced, but one of the things that popped into my head now when reading that was, don't spiritualize something that is focused on a miracle, right? Like, Jesus actually healed these people. Now, is it true that Jesus takes on our uncleanness and keeps himself clean and gives us his cleanness? Yes, but you can make the argument, but that was part of the direction. But just I didn't like that direction as much. But then a month ago, the focus was on Jesus having authority over death itself. And so you may have heard some of that language about authority. And so I really did kind of take the bones of that sermon that I wrote a month ago. I still had to put a decent amount more work into it. I had to.
So all the guts and the muscles.
Yes.
And the digestive system.
Yes. Okay. So it's kind of like, that age-old question of if over time a ship, all the parts are replaced, or all the the piece of wood, is it still the same ship? So
yeah.
It had some of the same pieces. This time, it was about authority, but it was more over Jesus having authority over our broken bodies and the victory that we're going to have. So it was similar, but I put several hours into it to make it different from the one that I did a month ago. So yeah, but yeah, it was really interesting to see the sermon from 2 years ago and kind of where I've grown. So that was fun.
All right. Now, kind of a weird question to ask. So, you preach this, your sermon to help benefit our congregation. But was there any benefits for you when you were trying to write this, or like when you were speaking during the sermon?
Yeah, I mentioned in my sermon, but I still deal with chronic back pain. This was something that I've shared in previous sermons, and I think people were probably thinking, oh, he's not mentioned it in a while, maybe he's better, and unfortunately not. And this Sunday, it was very, very ironic, because this Sunday I was in very rough shape. My back was bad. I woke up and my shoulder and neck were killing me. I was fighting being sick. And then the first two services, like one of them, literally as the bell was chiming for the opening to the welcome and stuff, I was fighting a bloody nose. And so, like, sorry if this is TMI, but I'm like back there going, like, just try, because like and part of it was Pastor Smith was filling in for another pastor, and so it was just me. And so it's like I was thinking through, boy, what do I do? Do I come out there with a tissue sticking out of my nose? Like, is that better than me not coming out there at all? Do I, from the back, from the vestry, say, hey everybody, I'm dealing with the bloody nose. We're gonna sing our first hymn, and then I'll do the welcome. Like, it was all going through my mind. Thankfully, I was able to get it under control, and like when I was doing the prayers, I did not lower my head at all, because like any bit of lowering it.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways.
Luckily, none of it made it on the on your white robe.
No, thankfully.
I mean, God was looking out for you there.
Yeah, yeah. He was looking out for Altar Guild, really.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so Sunday was rough for me physically. I had to keep praying. Okay, God, this is gonna be on you. This is gonna be on you to carry me through this, because it was rough, and so just knowing that there is hope for healing, whether in this life or not, and like just be like, and I hope nobody took it this way, but just because there's hope in the future, in eternity, that doesn't take away from the fact that, like, I'm gonna say a word that I don't know if it's technically PC or not, but like dealing with pain and health issues in this life sucks. Like so I don't want to take away from people's very real struggles, including my own. Like I am in with that, but there is hope, and sometimes we have to be reminded of that, because man, life can get you down. So yeah, this sermon was apt for what I was going through on Sunday.
Yeah, it sounds like it. We were able to get a lot of benefit from the gospel reading.
Yeah.
No, I asked you just a little bit ago, like, what you got out of it. What was your hope and desire for the congregation to get out of your sermon?
Yeah, hopefully it was the same thing, right? To strengthen and encourage them. I'm guessing that this is the case for other people too, but I know when I get like weighed down and discouraged, and I'm like I'm not in a good place mentally or emotionally, like a lot of times it's health related, right? And I think that's the case for a lot of people, either again themselves or somebody else. And so, my encouragement and my hope for them was, hang on, keep hanging on to hope. Be like Joanna.
There you go.
Who was bleeding for 12 years but kept holding on to hope, right? And also, like, thanks be to God that we know healing is a matter of when, not if. And I think, and I heard from a number of, I'll just say, older people that I got the most feedback from, that were like appreciative of that. And I think, even myself, as I'm not old, but as I have aged, I felt more, my body not being in its prime condition, and health issues coming up, and we all face it, and so just hold on to hope, and know that God is working through this. And for as much as we want healing, as much as Jairus and Joanna wanted healing, God's timing was to strengthen their faith before that healing came.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
All right. Now for my final sermon question for you. Because our head boss of St. Paul is not Pastor Smith, but Jesus, how did you make sure that he was highlighted as our Savior this week?
Yeah, he was our Savior over every bit of brokenness in this life. And this is one of those sermons that, as I was writing it and as I was preaching it, there were specific people I was thinking about, which I think is good, right? I'm not just thinking of a straw man, but like thinking about people behind, when I'm thinking about who this is for.
Yeah.
This person who I know their dad is dealing with Alzheimer's, or, their son is dealing with cancer, right? Jesus has already defeated death. And, this is something that I admittedly didn't have come through as much as I would have wanted to in the sermon, but I think this is part of how the text was set up, right? Like he starts out with, and this, I also am kicking myself because I started with the story sandwich and then I didn't put the top bun on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think people may have gotten it, but it starts out with this big need, daughter close to death, and then this woman comes and her need is lesser, right? Her life is not on the line, but Jesus shows authority over that. And it's like he has showed his authority over that which is lesser, and then, oh, by the way, he goes and shows his authority which is over that which is greater, right? So when I ultimately death is the enemy, but everything short of death, everything that affects our bodies, our minds, our souls because of this broken world, Jesus has already claimed victory over that. And when we remember that, when we hold on to that, that changes our outlook, right? Like it sometimes is what keeps us going, knowing that though what I'm going through right now is awful, there is hope on the other side of it. Mm-hmm. And I know there's some days that's what keeps me going, right? Because like Sunday, I have days where it's like, man, I'm in rough shape. If my life is only going to get worse in that regard, like when I think about atheists, people who don't believe in God or afterlife, like how bleak that is. If this is the best that there is, if this is all that there is, and if I'm somebody who deals with chronic pain or, whatever health issues, like, man, that really is awful. But because we know there is hope, man, that changes everything. That all the way down to knowing that your pain is not meaningless. That God is working through it, whether for your benefit or for somebody else, he's working through it. And so, yeah, thanks be to God that Jesus has claimed victory over even our worst enemy, death itself.
Well, and what I was thinking, during your sermon was not what the body is going through right now compared to that new body that we are getting that is going to be no pains, no aches or anything like that.
Yeah.
And man, I'm hoping the body that's currently primed right now is the body that we will get. But it's but yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll even get something better than that too.
Yeah.
That will not have those unfortunate pains anymore.
Yeah. A lot of fun things to think about with what our existence is going to be like in heaven.
Yeah. So that's what I was kind of focusing on, when I was listening to you on Sunday. All right. Well, that is all the sermon questions that I have for you. Is there anything else you want to highlight before we move on?
I don't think so.
All right. Now time for the deer in the headlights question.
All right.
I would love to ask you America question. Now, if you ask me, I think our country of America is, can be very sneaky and good at gathering information. Especially when, the CIA has the word intelligence in its name and the FBI is investigation. So as a whole, our country has a lot of information that we have gathered. Would you agree or disagree with me on this?
I would agree.
Okay. Now, have you ever wondered what information we have as a whole?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now, here is my question for you. It's an either or question. Okay. You have 24 hours to explore and learn everything that is in Area 51, or would you want access to every government classified document?
Oh.
Because, you are a reader, too, so, I know you probably would enjoy, reading a lot of those things.
Yeah, that's tough. If it's going to be 24 hours, though, I do think that makes it easy. Because I'm going to go with Area 51 because that's specified, right? I would get so overwhelmed and my ADHD would kick in
Oh.
and I'd get a little bit of this and then like, oh, there's that. And so like, Area 51 is all going to be one general topic. And so that's what I would go with.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an interesting question though.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I would also choose the Area 51. And
Yeah.
because there'll be tons of documents.
Yeah.
About that there as well, and just to be very curious
Uh-huh.
of what is there. Which, do you remember, what was that? Was that the 2019 where, like, everyone was going to swarm
Yeah.
Area 51?
Yep, I do. I just watched a documentary on that a few months ago, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I forget when that was, though. Like, I feel like that was not that long ago, though. Like,
No,
I think it was before 2020.
Yeah, well, I remember being at the 2019 National Youth Gathering
Okay.
with some of my youth, and we were at an improv comedy group, and they made some references about storming Area 51.
Oh,
so it's ingrained. Like
Okay.
I know precisely when that time period was, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who are listening who are like, what in the world are they talking about? They have no idea about it.
Yeah, because I remember, like, people were like, oh, yeah, the people who are going to run towards that, they're going to do the Naruto run.
Yeah.
And have their arms backwards and going in. All right, so Area 51 it is for you.
Yes.
I think that'd be mine as well. All right, well, that is our show for today. Thank you for coming on the podcast, Beyond the Sermon. Next week, I will be interviewing Pastor Smith. I am your host, Michael Sinn, and have a great rest of your day, everybody. Goodbye.